IFP National Policy Conference is due to get underway in Empangeni in the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal today. The IFP last held its policy conference more than 10 years ago. This comes as the party is gearing up to launch its election manifesto. For more on this story, let's cross live to SABC News reporter Simphiwe Makhanya. Simphiwe, a good morning to you. Take us through what we're expecting to see take place at the conference.
Well, indeed, Naledi, about 500 branch delegates are expected to converge here in Empangeni to, among other things, thresh the policy direction of the party, which is the Inkatha Freedom Party. The two-day conference is commencing today, and of course it will be concluded tomorrow. Yesterday, we spoke to the IFP's national spokesperson, who basically set the tone for what we can expect in the next 2 days. But of course, now I'm joined by the IFP Youth Brigade National Secretary, that is Mr. Mlungisi Mabaso, who's going to, on behalf of young people of the IFP, talk to us about what are some of their expectations as young people. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, and greetings to yourself and the viewers at home. Well, the IFP Youth Brigade had an opportunity to look at the policies of the organization, but also because there is also a commission that deals with youth affairs in the party and in general, and in that commission we had an opportunity to look at the old policy of the organization and review it and make some amendments, and that's what we are going to be tabling today. And most of the issues, in fact, that took priority in that discussion that we had with the youth in the organization was the issue of the unemployment, the issue of the curriculum in the education system, and also the issue of the welfare of young people in the country, where we were looking at the issues of substance abuse, drugs and all those things. And in the issue of unemployment, there are quite a number of proposals that have been submitted by young people, including the establishment of the youth ministry, standalone youth ministry, that will not be in the presidency, a standalone department that will be able to pool all the resources that we have in the country so that we are able to implement all the programs that are there for young people in the country. And we also looked at the introduction of a new subject in schools, subjects like your agriculture, subjects that will talk to your entrepreneurship and all those things. So those are the proposals, that came very strong in our deliberations with the youth. And even over the weekend, we had the last session with the National Council of the Youth Brigade, where we were finalizing the submissions of the youth through the policy conference.
You talk about the introduction of a youth ministry, which is going to deal with the issues that are affecting young people. As it is now, we have the Minister of Employment and Labour, but the country is facing a severe challenge of unemployment, and in particular youth unemployment. Why do you think that the introduction of this ministry is going to bring about change in terms of the employment situation in this country?
Well, the reality is that all the programs that are there in the country are not properly coordinated. But second to that, the departments, all of them, have not prioritized the issues faced by young people. They are, by the way, programs in a way. And we are saying if you have a dedicated and a department and they sit at the executive level that will specifically deal with the issues of young people, pull all the resources that are in various institutions in the country and bring them together and cascade it even to at a local level, because we are also proposing in our policy that even at a provincial level there need to be an MEC that is responsible for youth affairs. At a local authority, we need to have a youth directorate that deals with the youth affairs and pull all the resources, whether in the private sector or at the government institutions, because all these institutions that we have currently and the department that is in the presidency, we feel that they are not being effective and they are not adequate enough to deal with the issues of young people. And we feel that we need to have a center that will be able to coordinate and implement all these challenges and programs that the youth in this country faces.
On a separate matter, Mr. Mabaso, we had the IFP Youth Brigade releasing a statement recently regarding the party's involvement in the multi-party charter, basically, saying that you don't agree with the decision of the party at national level. Do you still stand by those words, and have you been able to resolve the issue within the party?
Well, the matter is still on the table for deliberations, because what we were saying as young people in the IFP was that, if you sign an agreement, excluding other political parties, it's not us that determines the coalitions. It's the electorate themselves. So we cannot then preempt the outcomes of the elections. Well, we all want to take the ANC out of power, but in the instance where it's only two parties or three parties that are voted into government and we are forced to establish a coalition government, what's going to happen when we have excluded other political parties in the pre-signed agreement? So that's what we are saying as the organization, to say, let's relook at the agreement that we have signed and make sure that we do not close the door for any political party, because we don't know what's going to happen after elections and we cannot preempt the outcomes, and we need to make sure that we keep our doors open so that in each and every political party that get a seat in the legislature, we are able to work with them, because these coalitions are detected by the electorate themselves, and it is not by our own doing. It's because electorate is saying we do not want to give a single political party a mandate, and we want all political parties to work together, and we need to keep our doors open so that we are able to work with everyone.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
There is Mr. Mabaso, who speaks on behalf of the IFP Youth Brigade here, telling us about what the youth of the IFP wants to see in terms of the policy direction of the party. It's back to you in studio now.